Posted by you/knocked up27. I, 27F, am having trouble answering people's questions about my pregnancy, which has caused some drama with friends, all in their 20s. I'm 7 months pregnant with a child I plan to give to a wonderful couple through a closed adoption. I made this choice because the child was the result of non-consensual intimacy. I didn't press charges because I was a bit of a party girl and didn't think I would be believed. I honestly have no idea who the guy was. I just remember trying to push him off and being too drunk to do so. My choice not to press charges. My choice to keep the pregnancy. My choice to place the child for adoption. I am comfortable with these choices. They are private and personal, and I am keeping most of this to myself. My inconsiderate friends and coworkers have turned it into a game. I was hiding the pregnancy until I really started showing a couple of weeks ago. I get that people are curious about it, it's rather surprising, but I saw a betting pool being passed around the office. They are placing bets on who the father is. I was shocked and a little hurt. My friends are curious too. I have one close friend who basically knows everything. She's going to be in the room for the birth with me, and she's not telling anyone. So, rumors are spreading. One terrible rumor is that the father is my, now former, friend Karen's husband, Troy. Karen called me in tears. I went over to her house to tell her to her face that it wasn't possible. She demanded to know the truth. I told her it was none of her business, and she blasted me on Facebook. Some friends have been nice to my face, but everything gets back to me eventually. Some people are even saying that I'm a paid surrogate, which I guess is fine compared to the other rumors. I hate that people are talking about me like this. I made one blanket statement on Facebook yesterday. I guess I can't hide it anymore. Yes, I'm pregnant. I'm giving a lovely couple the child they have tried to have for years. It's very personal and private, and I ask that you all respect that. It has a bunch of comments, but I haven't read them. I'm going to take a big break from social media. I don't know what else to do or say. I am uncomfortable with everyone's constant questions. I love my job and usually enjoy my coworkers. I hope I can just suck it up and go back to normal in a few months. Weirdly, I've found great inner peace with everything because I am so happy to be giving the adopting parents, who are the kindest men I have ever met, a kindergarten teacher and a social worker, something they could never have on their own. Here's what I need from readers of this sub. What can I say that isn't a lie but will shut people up without giving out information I'm not comfortable sharing? I don't like calling her, the baby is female, an accident. The two people who know the whole truth, my friend and my doctor, immediately asked me why I didn't report it. I'm ashamed and humiliated. I really don't want to say much of anything. I think a big part of why this is so hard for me and those around me is that I'm usually really talkative and social. I'm in sales, so now that I'm showing, I'm also dealing with these questions from strangers. Should I go to my manager about the pool? Laugh it off? Wait for it all to blow over? Commenter. I know it's a sensitive topic, but why not tell your friends it was from SA? That would shut them up very quickly. Also, what about reporting the situation to HR? Ops response. I really don't want people knowing what happened to me. Like I said in my post, the first reaction was, why didn't you report it? I hate that I didn't. I hate that some guy is out there, thinking he can get away with it. I hate that I used to drink so much. I hate that because I used to drink a lot and hook up a lot, people think so little of me. I just don't want everyone to know. I don't want this little girl to ever find that out. Regarding work, we're a smallish outfit. We don't have an HR department. We have an owner-manager, who I really respect and who is kind of like a second father to me. We're 7 guys and me. I've always been one of the guys about this kind of stuff. I should go to the owner and tell him what's going on. I've been avoiding him. I've been avoiding everyone. I don't want to be pitied, but this situation is even worse. I'm all over the place, sorry. I'm shut in my office with the worst heartburn I've ever felt, trying not to cry. Update 4 hours later. Thank you so much for all the support. I'm glad I posted this. I had a good cry, took an antacid, or 4, and went to the owner, Jim. I told him the truth, and I told him that I really didn't want the guys to know and that I needed the jokes and talk to stop because it was hurting me. He hugged me and told me he was proud of me, which made me cry again, freaking hormones. He gathered the staff and had a quick, what he calls come to Jesus, meeting. He announced that he would fire anyone who made me uncomfortable about my pregnancy on the spot and that all the money from the pool needed to end up on my desk, pronto. He was great. He didn't share any of my personal info, he just protected me and made it quick and easy. After we dispersed, he told me I could have an additional week of paid medical leave. I already have 2 weeks of sick/vacation time I haven't used. I'm going to text/talk to my friend and tell her she can subtly let people know what happened, especially Karen. This baby bump is sales gold, I just landed a big commission while sitting. I still think, as great as Jim is, I need to get out of this town. I'll always be a trailer park slot to people around here. My mama died when I was really young, and I acted out a lot after that. Everyone knows what I did and won't let me forget, despite working my tail off to graduate, working my way up to sales lead, buying my home, and fixing it up myself. I'm sick of Oklahoma. I'm thinking maybe somewhere in Oregon or Washington. It's real pretty up there. Again, thank you for all the kind and helpful advice. I feel so much better. This has always been one of my favorite subs to lurk. Thank you all. Second update 6 months later. First, I'd like to thank the kind, understanding folks in this sub for your help when I posted this a few months ago. I had a few PMs asking for updates and how everything went. It's been a wild ride. I'm posting this from a freezing, but spectacular, beachside hotel on the coast of Oregon. I had a job interview this morning that I feel really great about, and I have 2 more lined up. My house sold fast, and I have some money to live on and start fresh. And do I ever need a fresh start? A few days after I made that post, rumors started up again. I was supposedly pregnant with my boss's baby, some of you called that. And then it was a coworker's. And then my friend's husband again. To save face, I asked my friend to tell the right blabbermouths the truth. That backfired, hard. Someone, or some people, I don't know, started posting on Craigslist about me and the baby. There's this section called rants and raves, but I guess people just post garbage there. I looked at some of the posts, and someone really had it out for me. They said I was crying great because I was too slotty to know who the father was. They called me the worst names. I flagged what I could, but new posts kept popping up. I tried to ignore it. I had a good friend write me this extremely long text about how I was making it all worse with my grape story. I was devastated. I guess my prior life and reputation are all people there will ever think of me. I kept my head down and just tried to forget it all. It was affecting my work. I put my house up for sale and made a plan to GTFO. I was at 38 weeks and had resigned my position. My wonderful boss told me I could come back, but I don't want to. I was selling most of my belongings and packing what mattered to me. There's a knock on my door, real late. Later than folks should be knocking. It was a man I kinda know from the bar scene. He was drunk and angry. He told me it was maybe his baby and that I had no right to call it grape. I remember talking to him that night, but I really don't remember it being him. But I don't remember anything other than pushing him off and wishing I was stronger. I told him to go home and leave me alone. I'm trying to be brief, but he made the next week hell for me. He was harassing me at my house every day and calling at all hours. He was threatening me and demanding a paternity test. I was terrified that he was going to mess up the adoption. I was growing more and more scared for my safety too. I couldn't sleep or eat. My friend came over, and we called the police and told them everything. The officer who came to my house was great. I don't know what they said to him, but it worked, and he left me alone. I went into labor the next week. I ended up getting a C-section because the baby had turned and was breech. One of her fathers ended up holding my hand. My friend was there, but only one person was allowed in the room. He got to cut the cord. The baby was perfectly healthy and beautiful. She had this thick, dark hair and the chubbiest cheeks. Her fathers were instantly and madly in love. They took her home the next day. I had to stay a while because of the surgery. It was the hardest 3 days of my life. The hospital sent a therapist in, and she was helpful. When I was released, I spent a few days in a luxury hotel with my dear friend. I never went home. I paid someone to pack my stuff for me. I spent the next 2 months at my grandmother's house in Texas, recovering, thinking, and waiting for the cash from the sale of my house. I was terrified I would get a call that the man from the bar had somehow messed up the adoption, but it hasn't come, and I grew less worried. I honestly don't care who the father is. I just want the baby to have a good life. I continued to see another therapist. When I felt well enough, we packed my rig and I took off. There was a vague plan to head west and find it. I went to the Grand Canyon. I saw the Great White Sands. I spent an entire freezing day staring at the ocean in Santa Monica. I did the trip cheap, mostly sleeping in my car and staying in cheap hotels. I spent time in every place where I found beauty. I landed here, at the prettiest place I've ever seen. I got a good rate at a motel and got an Oregon driver's license. I thought about changing my name too, but I don't want to change who I am. Just the where. Wow, this ended up being a novel. Thanks again.